Welcome to Healthcare Sign and Symptoms, a show where we explore the interdisciplinary field of healthcare and medical research. Tune in to the bi weekly conversation with UHS as we cover the latest topics in science news. My name is Tanya Lee, and today I am joined with Nicole.
So, today we will be discussing the topic of blue light and technology. So, before we get started, we'd first like to share a disclaimer that we are not experts and we are merely just undergraduate science students having an open and educated conversation about topics and news in science that we regard as interesting. Therefore, to begin on today's topic, blue light and technology, as we are spending more times indoors due to quarantine, there has been a notable increase in the amount of screen time that people are spending in front of their laptops or devices. And consequently, the amount of blue light that people have been exposed to artificially has also increased. So, to begin, what is blue light?
So, blue light's basically any visible light with a wavelength between 400 to 450 nanometers. It's usually light that's blue in color, as the name suggests, but it could also be seen as white or any kind of cool toned color. And people usually like associate it with phones and computers, which is a source of blue light, yes, but shockingly, the sun is also a source of blue light, and other artificial sources include like fluorescent light, compact fluorescent light bulbs, and LED lights. So it's also just like lights in your kitchen, lights in your bathroom, different lights around your house. So you're exposed to it a lot of the time. Um, it actually is what makes the sky blue, as like a fun fact. um, your body usually uses it as a way to regulate your natural sleep and wake cycles, which is why going on phones and computers before you sleep is a problem. And your natural sleep and wake cycles are called your circadian rhythm.
Yeah, so definitely before researching about blue light, I definitely thought that blue light was a majority from like technology or like our phone screens. But it turns out that the main source of blue light that people are exposed to in their daily lives is actually the sun. So like sunlight produces like a lot of blue light. So so does blue light, if we're exposed to it every day, does it even have negative impacts? So personally, for me, I found that my main source of blue light has definitely been my phone screen and my computer screen because I spent a lot of time on these two devices for school. And also, I've noticed that if I go on my phone before bed, I've definitely felt blue light impacts my quality of sleep. For instance, if I go on my phone before bed, I feel like my quality of sleep reduces. So that prompts a question. Does blue light have any negative impacts on our eyesight or on our sleep cycle? So blue light is, as Tanya mentioned, has the highest energy, which is known as high energy visible wavelengths. And these types of wavelengths tend to flicker more easily than low energy visible wavelengths. And this flickering creates a glare that can reduce our visual contrast as we stare to, for example, a computer screen. And if we are staring at computer screens for a really long time, of course, this can cause eye strains, headaches, and also physical and mental fatigue. So, Tanya, have you ever felt like really tired when you're staring at like a computer screen for a long time?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Like with classes being online and stuff, I do notice that my eyes get more tired throughout the day, and like sometimes I don't even want to go to a lecture because my
Mhm.
eyes just hurt, or like I feel like I kind sometimes I do have a headache, but like I'm like, oh, I get let me take a nap first, like rest my eyes just because they hurt so much, and then get back to it later. I do feel like it's a big problem now, especially with quarantine, because a less people are going outside probably just to be cautious, and then b
Yeah.
everything's online, like even work. Like I did have a job that was originally like working in a lab, but I ended up having to just do it all at home on the computer, so that definitely exposed me to more time behind the screens and like less time just outside, maybe walking to the office instead of just staying at home on my bed and working on a computer.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when we first started the semester, when everything turned online, I remember feeling so unused to like just staring at my computer all day. Like even before quarantine started, of course, like I depended on my computer a lot to complete my work. But I remember going to university and school, and we still had those breaks in between our classes where we could go outside, have a break, take a break from our screens. But now I feel like everything has kind of been mushed into one schedule since we're at home, we're literally just like the only thing we have to do is close a tab and open a new Zoom link to go to another class. So it's really increased the duration of time that we spend on our computer screens, as well as the exposure of blue light that we get in a day.
Yeah, it's definitely increased because like you don't really have a choice if you do class, I guess. Like if it's online and your lectures are online, you can't just go in person and do it. You really just have to watch it. So you kind of expose yourself to blue light for a couple more hours. And on top of that, we still have to do like our essays or like our lab reports on the computer. So then that's extra time as well. So I feel like blue light isn't that bad if like the sunlight has it, but also if we have it too much, then it'll definitely affect us in terms of sleep. I know that my sleep quality also has been going down recently.
Yeah, definitely. So blue light, as Tanya mentioned, in small amounts does not really present any harmful impacts, but our natural eyes actually don't have any filters to filter this high energy wavelength. So there's not sufficient protection of our natural eye against this wavelength. Therefore, blue light can penetrate directly to the back of our retina and can damage light sensitive photoreceptor cells. Therefore, if we're exposed to large amounts and for a long duration of time, it can increase the risk of macular degeneration or blindness in later, once we're older. However, this risk is comparatively small compared to risks of like smoking or cardiovascular disease from high pressure, high blood pressure, or being like obese. Therefore, like the risk of blue light, like the negative impacts are relatively small compared to the rest of the health risks that we're exposed to. But like Tanya mentioned, blue light does have a negative impact on sleep. So you can explain more about that if you want.
Oh yeah, like I know for like different phones, like I know I think all newer phones have this, but like they have like a sleep night mode on your phone
Yeah.
where you can just kind of make like the screen more orangey, which is supposed to help you with your sleep because you're exposed to less blue light. I know in more recent days also like computers have it. I don't know if do MacBooks have this
Yeah, I'm pretty
update?
sure there's an option for any students out there that you can turn your screen to like more orange setting so that there's less blue light that exposes you to. But it's kind of hard to get used to because the screen is like a weird orange tint.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Like I know some lets you like control the amount of orange so you can slowly get used to it. But for my laptop it straight up just turns everything orange.
Yeah, it's definitely like so weird because I feel like starting from like so long ago, we've been so used to and accustomed to blue light in our daily lives. So suddenly turning like a screen orange, it's really difficult to get used to.
Alternatively, I know that like some glasses have a blue light option. It's a bit extra, but my glasses have that too. Like a blue light tint.
Yeah, mine as well. And I'm sure that I think on Amazon you can get like blue light protective glasses just to wear even if you don't have a prescription. It supposedly helps to filter out the high energy wavelengths and provides like an extra layer of protection. However, studies have shown like that it doesn't really have that much of a protective effect, but it doesn't like not have a protective effect. So it kind of has like a neutral effect. So you guys can still purchase it if you feel the need to.
Like I feel like I guess it's better to have it than not, but if it's like something expensive then like I realized after that when I added the blue light onto my glasses, I realized I rarely wear my glasses. So for me, I feel like what has worked better for me is just turning on the orange light filter on my devices.
Yeah, definitely. And
Because
I
it's
feel like another
easier.
thing to do is like to take breaks just from your computer, from your phone. Like throughout the day, like we said before, like back when there wasn't COVID-19, we'd still get the opportunity to go outside in between our classes and just like put away our phones, stow it away, and just go outside and enjoy like the fresh air. But now, due to COVID-19, we don't really have the luxury to go outside like that anymore. So it's been definitely really important for me to take breaks between my lectures and just to rest my eyes or like just focus it like far away, not on the computer screen.
I know a bad habit of mine is when I'm done my lectures and I want to take a break, I go on my phone.
Me too.
Yeah,
It's kind of,
which
yeah, go on.
it's like kind of bad because you're trying to get away from the eye strain and stuff, but then you just switch devices. There's still blue light.
Yeah, so funny. And it's definitely very like ironic because like I want to rest my eyes, but I just go on my phone more. Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like social media and phone addiction is kind of a problem nowadays, especially since like during quarantine, I'm like, okay, well, I have like not much else to do. Like, I don't really have anyone, like, I can't really go out to hang out, and then I might be putting people at risk if I just go out a lot. I think if I lived in a less dense place, then it'd probably be okay. But now I'm just like, okay, in my free time, I will play games on my phone.
Yeah, same here. I've definitely found that for me taking a break at home, there's not really much to do except like, yeah, I can go on a walk, but since I'm at home, I just feel like it's much more easier to just like stow away my computer and switch to my phone and scroll on social media for like 5 to 10 minutes in between my Zoom lectures. And that's definitely like, I've been doing that as a bad habit before bed. And we can kind of talk about how blue light impacts sleep because there was a 2010 Harvard study done on blue light and comparing the effects of exposure to blue light with exposure to green light. And it was found that blue light suppressed melatonin for about twice as long as green light and also shifted our circadian rhythms twice as much from 3 hours to 1.5 hours. So it definitely shows how blue light, like going on our phones before bed, can have like a negative impact on our quality of sleep.
Mhm. And I also think like consequently, just for like that's why I feel like a lot of people wake up when there's sun in their room because they feel that blue light and then they feel the need to wake up. But then if you're kind of exposed to blue light all the time, your body's kind of just like, hey, when do we sleep? Like when is it time to sleep?
Yeah, I feel like our body definitely uses blue light as an indication of like to wake up or something. But if we're definitely going on our phones before bed, then it really messes up with our biological internal clock.
Hmm.
And it definitely messes up our circadian rhythms, which signal that we need to go to sleep.
Personally, for me, I really like sunlight and going outside. But ever since COVID kind of happened, I've been really cautious. And there's also like less activities to do, I guess. Like if someone's like, "Oh, do you want to hang out and like walk around before COVID?" You could be like, "Sure," but then now I'm just like, "Oh, wondering like, oh, about exposure." And then now I think with COVID cases being worse in Ottawa, we only interact with our household members, I believe.
Mhm.
So that's been like, unless I want to go walking with my roommates, then it's kind of just like I have no other option. So I
Yeah.
just stay home most of the time.
Yeah, and definitely phones and technology have been a great way for me to like socialize with my friends who I can't socialize in person. And that definitely increases my time spent on like social media, just like messaging my friends who I haven't like talked to in quite a while. And I've definitely depended on like FaceTime or video chatting as a way to increase my social interaction virtually. But this also increases our exposure to blue light, right?
Yeah.
So it's,
Like
mhm.
yeah, it's like you kind of want to see them and like be safe and all, but also you're on your screens a lot and it's really straining for the eyes.
Yeah. So there's definitely that time where you should definitely take a break from screens, even if like you might have like homework or lectures. Just take a break and reduce the strain on your eyes.
I'm kind of trying to get into gardening so I can
Oh,
like reduce
wow.
the amount of time that I'm on my phone, but hasn't kickstarted yet. The backyard has a lot of weeds to pull, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I feel like quarantine has definitely allowed me to, like, get more time to delve into my hobbies and, like, develop new hobbies. Unfortunately, like, a lot of that has been on social media, like, time spent on
Yeah,
my device.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so there's definitely, like, many ways that we can try to minimize our blue light exposure, but at the same time, blue light exposure isn't bad, right? Because, like,
Yeah.
sunlight there's been studies done on blue light and sunlight that showcase how, like, it can increase our concentration, our cognitive ability, and also boost our mood. And I remember you were talking about a movie about blue light.
Oh yeah, there was like this one movie that I watched, and it was like there was one city that was just raining all the time. There was like no sunlight, and everyone was kind of like sad. But then
Mhm.
one character could bring sunlight, so then once she started doing that, everyone kind of just like became more happy, and then the movie became all pretty and colorful, and it was nice, and it just kind of showed like how kind of like a universal concept almost
Mhm.
that people just receive like happiness and like are in a good mood when they see sunlight. Like we can't just live in the darkness forever.
Yeah, there's been studies been done on, like, depression and using blue light as a source to treat, like, depressed patients. However, I don't think that artificial blue light has the same effect as, like, natural blue light due to, like, I think, like, external factors as well. Like, if you consider, like, how we feel, our emotions when we're outside compared to being stuck in front of, like, a screen.
Yeah.
I feel like these factors also have to be taken into consideration.
I feel like there's a difference between just shining like a phone screen in front of someone versus bringing them outside with light.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely just like seeing maybe like outside, feeling the air is also part of like the mood boosting aspect of it.
Mhm.
I'm definitely gonna try to minimize my exposure to fix my sleep schedule. It is reading week,
Yeah,
so it's
time
the
to take
perfect time to
breaks.
fix it. Yeah, time to take breaks and fix the sleep schedule for school again. So I'm gonna try to go on my electronics less before sleeping. I did read somewhere that like you should stop going on your phones slash devices like 2 hours or 1 hour before you sleep.
Oh, really? Yikes, I have not been doing that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I also heard that, like, a good thing to prevent yourself from going on your phone before bed is to, like, read before bed, and that also takes some time off from, like, going on social media. And I feel like apart from blue light, social media is also really addictive by itself, so that also
Mhm.
prevents me from falling asleep, not just blue light.
Yeah, just like you keep scrolling and then it just auto plays the next meme or something,
Yeah,
and then you're like, okay,
definitely.
I might as well watch it. I know my old roommate, she used to just read before she slept, which was good. And sometimes I started reading a couple books over the summer, and it honestly feels so much more refreshing than going on social media all the time. Like, I feel like I'm being more productive.
Yeah, reading is definitely something that I've been trying to get back into. Mhm. It's definitely a good choice to do before, like, you go to sleep or even before, like, right as you wake up, because I feel like going on your phone the first thing, like, you wake up and exposing yourself to blue light is definitely not, like, the prime way to start off one's day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I remember, like, someone said they were doing, like, a dopamine flush. I don't remember the exact term, but they were trying to not go on their phone immediately in the morning just to get that satisfaction to try to prevent their addiction.
Oh, wow, that's so interesting. Yeah, I feel like phones have definitely become, like, such an addiction throughout even in quarantine, like, that has, like, exponentially increased, like, our use of phones and screen time. And due to, like, this increase in screen time, there's definitely been, like, an increase in our exposure to blue light, both artificial and natural. Therefore, to conclude, like, blue light definitely can have some detrimental impacts on our quality of sleep and also can impact our eye strain. if we're in front of our devices all day for online school. So, just a reminder to everyone, even if you have assignments or like lectures to watch, make sure to take some time off for yourself and some breaks.
Some breaks that involve not going on your phone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And before we
Well,
go, make sure to show some love for your favorite podcasts by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or liking our podcast on Spotify. And head over to the UOHS website to go subscribe to our blog. And stay tuned for our new podcast where we discuss COVID-19 testing. And thank you for listening to Healthcare Signs and Symptoms.